by herself, broken off.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Open Discussions, where we will be discussing various topics allowing women to understand us men and men to understand women, all in a respectful manner. With that being said, I'm your host, David. Here's my new co-host, Lily. All right, no, that's just jokes, but let me slide it over to my other co-host.
Welcome back, guys. Hey, good to be here. Good to have we're ready for the conversations we're gonna have today, and it's gonna get good. So, look, I'm excited. It's been maybe 2 weeks off in a sense, and so we're trying to ramp things up again, man, and making a few changes going into September. So we're excited that you guys are here. Thank you. And that being said, we'll introduce our guests.
Two lovely guests for today.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start with my co-host for this episode.
This would not be the first time a man's given me a job, an unpaid job, on the spot. So,
hey, most women get unpaid jobs on the spot nowadays. All right, well, can you give us your name, your occupation, and if you're single or taken?
okay, my name is Lily Lopez. I'm a comedian and a nonprofit communication marketing manager, and I'm single.
Ooh, single, ready to mingle. Yeah. All right, what about you? Can you give us?
You say the best for last.
Yes, you already know.
I know that's right. My name is Paris. I go by Paradise Paris on all my social networks, and of course, I am a content creator, a viral sensation, and extremely controversial. But also in my actual career field, I am a manager for insurance claims.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Actually, the real best for last is going to be our producer in the back. And that's who we need to just give a quick round of applause to for this show for today. Shout out to Roger in the back. Hey, without Roger, none of this would be possible. So shout out to Raj. But we can get into our first little topic today. Earlier, we were discussing how I think me and Ariel would say the man controls to an extent if the dynamic between a woman and a man is going to stay friends or if it's going to elevate to the next level where it could be sexual or maybe an actual relationship. And you were saying, no, it doesn't go that way. So why would you say that you would say it doesn't go that way, that the man controls that friendship, sexual dynamic?
Because it's only contingent on if the woman is able to see whether or not the man likes her.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If you are attracted to me, you're not my friend. You're pretending to be my friend in order to wait around to manipulate with me to get what you want. That's not the same as developing interest over time. However, if you're saying, hey, a man controls this friendship, then that would be solely based off of the fact that he doesn't have an interest in her at all to choose to be her friend. But if you don't believe men and women can be friends, then it is up to the woman that controls that, because it's going to be up to her to play into that or not, where she can just simply benefit off of being a woman and letting you think that she doesn't know you like her.
See, but I my argument would be that the men, majority of the time, want to sleep with that girl that's a friend. So in my opinion, majority of the time, a man can't be friends with a girl unless the man is like, hey, I strictly only see you as a friend, because now he's never going to put you in those situations where you're going to think that he's trying to flirt with you or he's saying this or saying that. And you're like, oh, I'm taking that the wrong way. But majority of the time, if the man is like playing it cool, then he understands, hey, I'm just see you as a friend. I'm not even going to flirt with you. I'm not going to take you any further. You want to go home at night? That's cool. I'll drop you off. I'm not going to stay the night. I'm not going to ask to stay the night. That's where I think the dynamic changes, because the man is saying, hey, I'm leaving you there in the friend zone. We all know women control sex in the situation. Like if the woman don't want to open her legs, nothing's happening.
So that would still make us friends. And then the moment that I don't, well, let's go with what you're saying, right? I agree that majority of men don't actually see women as female friends. I will also go out on a ledge and say that there is really no real benefit to men being friends with women. And that's as a woman. I am a woman who has multiple male friends. I say that as a woman who has multiple male friends.
Say that one more time. You said what?
There is not a benefit of men being platonic friends with women. I don't personally attest to that, but I am a woman who has multiple male friends.
Is there a benefit, do you feel?
For you as a woman?
Yeah.
I benefit heavily.
Yeah, I can see why. Playing for hanging out.
But it's not because I have a non-genuine, authentic relationship with them. I say that because as of today, based off of what you're saying, this is why I say men don't control that. You don't control if we're friends. I control if we're friends, because I can always pretend I don't know you like me. And so whereas you're thinking like, man, I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna just see when I'm gonna catch her slipping. I'm gonna move in there. I'm gonna give her a little sign. It's like, no, because you're just my buddy. You're just my pal. And I can continuously play dumb as long as I want. And, because once we do have sex, that will change the trajectory. You're telling me I control sex. You can't tell me I control sex and don't control this relationship moving forward. Because the moment that we sleep together, we are not friends. So as long as a woman is ignorant to, meaning not knowing, or she plays delusional, she controls you guys being friends, regardless if your intentions are deceptive or not.
I don't really think women cannot play dumb. I'm pretty sure women know that a guy is thinking
stupid.
More.
No, women are stupid.
Really, even like flirting
women
with the
stupid.
I think women. I hear what you're saying. I think sometimes, women choose to.
Yeah, we do
behave stupidly.
Be delusional a little bit.
But all of that is not a choice sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's not a choice, and sometimes, you're catching
every man
yourself.
you run into is a narcissistic.
Thank you, Paris. You're the one who said it.
You said every man you run into is not, or he is.
Men are not that smart either, right? Because the game ain't changed. I don't care what ethnicity you are, what background you come from, where you go. Socialization and integration of men and women are still always the same. Nature is going to do whatever nature does. You cannot run from it as a woman. So you can tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to cope. But no, there are many times that women are stupid, but men are not as smart as women pretend they are either.
I think you can go both ways.
I want to say something, right? Because I agree on both sides, right? But at the same time, like, I also feel that, like, a woman is going to give the power to a man if she can trust a man and she can say, okay, I allow you to lead. And like she sees that from him. But if she sees herself of being more masculine than the man, that's not happening. So, women will submit. Women will allow a man to kind of, maneuver through the relationship or the friendship if she sees you as a masculine figure where it's like, I trust him to lead me.
But you're conflating two different things, because I concede with that. The issue is there art of deception in it for her? And that's where he missed the point. See, all day long, we can be friends. Unless I also got ill intentions towards you.
But see, I think
then that changes the whole scope, because while you're like, I'm plotting on her, like, I can't wait. We're gonna get drunk one night. I'm gonna try her. I'm gonna see what she says, or I'm gonna come by when she's vulnerable. I'm gonna help her out, and she's gonna really see, how I really am. Because men do that, right? You can do that all day long, but what's gonna be detrimental is if you actually determine whether or not I have genuine intentions or not. Because the idea is, in these situations, oh, she's just a girl. She's just going along. She's just trying to, she doesn't know that he likes her, or she's not taking him serious until she starts benefiting off of him. And she recognizes what's happening, and she sees the signs, and she keeps playing dumb. So we can be friends until both of our intentions are no longer pure.
Well, see, that was going to be my argument to it, is where you said first at the beginning that there is no benefit, I guess you say, in the man's point of view. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Or either side?
Now, I can justify that. I don't believe this is an oxymoron. In my personal friendships, do my male friends benefit? Yes. But that's as an individual. So I don't mean that person to person in every situation is always the same. But in totality, not excluding myself, men do not benefit today as friends with women.
No, I would say personally.
So my thought process back last year was like, you can't be friends with a woman. Like, it's just no benefit. But actually, look, I got girlfriends now, and there is benefit in different ways.
I was about to say we'll get into that right now. From my perspective as a man, I benefit from a relationship with a female by picking her brain on her situation she's been in with other men and how she deals with them. Whereas she'll say, hey, I did this, I did that. And I'm like, okay, you did it on the first date. I'm going to be very cautious when I go on this date to not get played how you just played him.
That's risk mitigation. That's not a benefit.
Well, no, it's benefiting me to understand that, hey, don't take those risks. It is benefiting me. Whether I'm getting this from a conversation with my mom, my auntie, cousin, brother, I mean, that's a female wise, I'm going to benefit from that situation.
But you will
now,
also
I'm gonna give you another
benefit
one.
if you and him just went together and you saw him interact with a woman and she did something foul.
Not necessarily because she's telling me why she did what she did. She's not going to tell. I can't get that from their conversation of why she did what she did.
I'll tell you this. If me and Lily go and rob a bank and I did it just because I have nothing to do and she goes and does it because she's actually broke, does it matter the why, or do we just both commit a crime?
So what I was no, you're
That's
right, but it doesn't matter why.
I was gonna try to bring up that point, but there's no way I could have done it better.
No, I was just gonna say that, for instance, it's a friendship, right? Now, as a guy, having 5 of my friends that are females at this event that I'm at makes me look better. So now I'm benefiting off of y'all just being my friends.
It really does.
So no, it's facts.
It's
facts.
crazy,
It's
like-
facts. Y'all don't understand because we are men, so men
put me in
understand
section.
men.
No, I understand.
Exactly.
What it looks
So,
like when I'm on the boat. I know.
so
what it
if I
looks like
got
when I'm
you
on the
plus
boat.
4 other girls with me in my section, just me and Ariel, and we got like 10 girls with us,
And we got
y'all
the section in the club.
perception
Yeah.
is
Status.
these 2 guys
They
is
have
the
status.
shit.
That's true.
Regardless if we're smashing any of y'all, we don't have to. It's
Correct.
the perception. So again, off of that one perspective, we will benefit off of just the friendship of y'all being around us
That's the
than
social
us actually
agency.
sleeping
Yes.
with us.
I've
Do
used.
you think that optics wise, that's a
It's a benefit.
positive?
100%.
Yes,
You know
it's
what? I'll tell you-
100% a positive.
I'll
I
tell you
agree
what.
with them.
Look,
Now, but
I'll tell you
I
what.
don't think me and you think
Yeah.
of it the same way, but I think of it completely different. I agree
yeah.
with that aspect, but that's not why I said that.
It's happened to me before. Look, I'm in sales. I'm a VP of sales for my company, right? And like I've taken just me and a client, him, and just been surrounded. I make a few calls to the girlfriends
Yeah.
I know.
Come out.
They show up, whatever.
Because
Cool.
now
and
they're
it's
gonna
a
spend
bunch
that
of them.
money. It's beautiful
Now
women.
the client's looking at me like, yo, what the fuck?
Right.
And what happened the following Monday?
You got the
Deal
commission.
signed.
God,
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And so,
So-
there's benefits behind that, yes.
You're right.
You
From the
needed
social.
bodies in that.
And there's
You
there's
needed
exchange
paid
there.
actors.
There's
That's an exchange.
That's
No,
chess,
the
though.
exchange though is the girls that I'm with.
Yeah.
They know that they're gonna get an experience by being with us.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's all experience, right? Women
Social
are attracted.
agency,
Women are
correct.
attracted by experience. So if you put them in a situation like that, there's nothing that I'm trying to get from them. It's just be here with me, have a good time.
Yep.
That's it.
I say that for a completely different reason. So you guys are talking about social agency. I agree, right?
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference. We talk about networking and stuff all the time, making the right connections, right? But the reason why I said that is because as of today, women have completely forgotten their duty to men.
Oh, for sure.
So
What is it?
you can
See, what is it? What's my duty? I'm
women
just-
lack reverence.
There you go. Yeah.
Women lack reverence in general, not specific to a demographic, but if you are an American woman in general, not me, I take myself out of that because I'm speaking for the total majority. But women lack reverence to men. So when I say men and women don't benefit off of friends, I'm not talking about the social acumen of it, or I'm not talking about, learning experiences. Because you're right. Like, we can have conversations. Sex doesn't have to be involved. There are plenty of men who are not attracted to me. There are men I'm not attracted to, right? That doesn't mean that they're not good people, enjoyable people, great personality that we intermingle with. We do it all the time at work. I think that's fair to say, right? You
Yeah.
build those connections unintentionally. Like, it's your buddy. You go and find your buddy at work all the time. Hey, this is Matt. Matt works in HR, whatever the case may be. We're going to go get lunch together. But when you're talking about an interpersonal relationship, the reason why I believe, this is personal opinion, not backed by anything, men have a very difficult time today finding genuine connections as friends with women that are not peer friends or from school age. It's because women today lack reverence. So I understand my duty to my friends. One of my friends have a birthday coming up Sunday. What I'm going to do is cook for him. Now, how many women do you know do that just for their friend?
I don't know. When if you tell me that as a female and you doing that, I'm gonna think something going on.
But that's your problem. Because you're
I'm
tainted.
just saying. I'm just saying.
You're tainted,
I'm just
right?
saying.
You're
that's
jaded,
just what I'm
right?
telling you. What I'm
So
gonna think of.
That's where I say it to you like this because I'm traditional. I come from a 2-parent household. So I understand that I'm in a different situation than most people. I'm very much so an anomaly. The way that I grew up was, if there was not a man who had a woman who came in the house with him, the woman of the house fixed his plate.
Yeah.
After she fixed her man's plate.
Yeah.
After she fed her kids, because he's a guest. He's also a man. When men were talking, you walked in the room, you said, excuse me, you went to the other room. Now women will argue with you because it's her house. Why it's mandatory for her to be amongst the men in the room. Why do you need to be there? There are men talking. Something so simple as, hi guys, excuse me, do you guys need any simple quote unquote servitude? Not the negative connotation, because people have a negative association with words, but there has become a thing of where we have projected men to be this all-encompassing Superman. And if they don't live up to our standards or our expectations, we define who they are as men while asking for leadership. That's an oxymoron. It contradicts itself.
Yeah.
So in order for me to show you I respect who you are as a man, and I also understand men and women are not equal, I don't have to remind you of that by barking at you. I can simply show you I have a duty to you. Same way in the community, right? When men used to have their wives who died, there would be other women who would get together and they would bake food. And they would send it over to him, and they would make cakes, and they would make dishes and make sure they checked up on him after church or whatever. They helped groom his kids because they knew that women were important in the raising of children. So that's what I mean when I say there is no benefit. You can grow socially regardless, right? You can just be a nice looking man. You keep yourself well clean. You show up in a Porsche Cayenne with a nice Rolex on, and boom, you're going to attract a flock of women. It's nothing, right? You pull out a roll of hundreds, you're going to attract a flock of women. They don't have to be your friends. But it helps when you do have women around you who cultivate who you are as a man.
Yeah.
So when you show up and you get a relationship, that woman you're in a relationship with, she has a standard to uphold, because the women around you have set a precedent that she can't fuck this up.
Yeah.
But how many people nowadays have that strong,
They don't.
circle around them of women that would be able?
That's why I said
they don't.
there is not a benefit, right? Because if you're looking at a man who is really trying to be on his A game, whether he's in the sector of entrepreneurship or whether he is,
Just a 9 to 5.
in 9 to 5, it doesn't matter what he does. One thing that he's going to need is familial support along with nurturing, right? So men still need that. You guys need to be around women to humanize yourself, right? To make you realize, like, hey, it's a softness here, it's an emotion there, right? Because you're going to be around men in your dominated fields regardless. Proximity, you're going to be around men naturally. But when you create an environment of a man who comes from women that respect him and honor him, and they pour into him, he's able to go and conquer, because he knows what's waiting for him when he comes back to his tribe.
Yeah. See, I think we know that as men. I just feel, honestly, it goes both ways. There's not enough men that are meeting the standards that women have, and there's also not enough women meeting the standards that men have of how we should be nurtured and cared for nowadays.
We're doing too much talking.
Well, what men, I would say, do too much talking, and the women believe the delusionness of the story he's selling to her, and they accept it and move on, and then they say, oh, damn, he's not who I thought he was. It's because you believe the dream he was selling you, and you took it.
Men do too much talking, not because they're selling dreams, but because they're bargaining with women.
But that's selling a dream.
No,
I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna do this, and then I don't do it. That's selling you a delusional idea.
You're talking about in the context of relationships where he's trying to bargain to get to reason with her what he wants. I'm talking about in the context of all the way around parameters, right? At the grocery store, in your job, career field, when you're dating, right? If a woman comes up to you and she starts profiling herself, saying what she's not gonna do, your immediate reaction isn't to figure out how to manipulate the situation to get the lesser road of, trouble, right? Your immediate reaction should be, I don't have to tolerate this.
Yeah.
That's what I would think most men do. But I've noticed a lot of men have low self-esteem. A lot of men are gratifying women for all the wrong reasons, which in the end game of it, women are not winning, but realistically, you guys are battling against a lot of men who have no backbone. Yeah. They have no real reason to incentivize women to want to have reverence towards them, because why Why are we having a conversation where you're telling me what you're gonna do for me when it should be, hey, when I show up around this man, I already understand he knows what he's gonna do. I am to follow his leadership and understand if it doesn't work for me, I'll go find another man who's gonna do it. Yeah. It's not going into it saying,
do you think that there's
you got to do this for me? No, it's not that.
Yeah. Do you think it's like fair to, while you're dating, kind of, I mean, obviously get to know each other, but then once you see, you know, that reverence isn't returned? Because I think that's the point I was missing too. I was like, yeah, maybe women don't know how to revere men anymore in a heterosexual way sense, because I want to make clear too that this is a very binary conversation, because I think there's benefits to men having gay friends, lesbian friends, trans friends. I'm like, those are green flags to me. If you have women friends, cool, yeah, I'm gonna want to know what the nature of that is. Have you dated before? You know, have you slept with these friends?
But I'm gonna be honest with you, right? If I'm looking at a man to raise a family with, I don't care about his friends. You get what I'm saying? Because
to an extent.
No.
What do you mean? I care.
No,
I'm like, who are the type of people are they people I fuck with? And
no,
like,
I don't care.
No, I
don't care
yeah.
because you have to understand the hierarchy of men.
Yeah.
You're attracted to men. This is why I don't care, right? When I walk into a room, if we go to a club, right? We go to an outing, doesn't matter where, right? We go to a day party. When you walk into that day party, your eyes spotted what you wanted, whether or not he approaches you, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you knew who you were attracted to. He stood out, didn't he?
Regardless if he approaches you or not.
He never talks to you.
You just walked in.
You're a woman. You go in, you got your girls with you, right? You got your drink. Yeah. You're about to, whatever. You got your little Modelo. You're cute. His hair cute. Makeup, blush is on, right? You smell nice. You walked into that environment, right? You saw that guy. He catches your attention. Why did he catch your attention? He stood out amongst all the other men that were in that environment. 300 people in here.
Taller than everyone in the
Not
room.
even taller. Just his presence alone.
Yeah.
That's why I don't care. Because what you will realize, and I think this is the segregation between men and women, what matters to them never matters to us, and vice versa.
And vice versa.
So these two guys, they could have became friends because they went to the gym together. And they were like, "Hey, bro, I see you lifting 450. How'd you do that? I've been trying to get my spot up or whatever." And it's like, they friends now. But us, it's like, "Oh, girl,
that's so
I saw you make this post. Are you okay?" And we emote different.
Your energy was off.
Right.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? I just wanted to come and check up on you. Oh, girl, fuck him. What did he do? And we
Always.
start bonding
Always.
over superficial things, whereas they're bonding over a common genuine interest, right?
Yeah.
So I don't care, because a lot of times men realize that they have friends off of very surface levels basis. We're the ones who get deep. We're the ones who care about birthdays, and we care about how she is in her relationship and is she okay, and they don't give a fuck about that. They'll go disappear on their friends for 4 months, stack their money up, grow their hair out on their face, never get a haircut. They're eating burritos and tacos every fucking day, and maybe drink a beer and 2 waters. They don't care. Then they pop back up and they like, "Bro, it's your birthday. We're finna go to Cabo. You ready? Yeah, we're gonna celebrate. Yeah." And it's like,
so
totally
crazy.
different.
I have friends.
That's why I don't
I
care.
have friends who like
They smell it every day.
legit, like, hey, look, legit. They I got friends in different states, but I have some friends where we won't talk for like 2-3 months, 4
At
months,
all.
and it's like. It's like it's almost like we talk every day in a sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Bro,
that
you got
conversation-
married? Wow.
that
You
conversation,
didn't tell me. You good?
Conversation picks up quick.
Yes and no, but I would say guys are quick. Like we never stop talking. Like we never stop talking.
But because we're always like on the go, right? Us guys, we're expected to obviously those who are aligned well, who know that they need to work certain ways to make things happen, right? Whereas some guys are very comfortable. Those guys are very comfortable and need the attention. We don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Us here, we don't need the attention.
Correct.
I don't need it from a woman. I don't need it from a man. I don't know about it. Like, I'm
Because
doing what I got to
you
do.
reaffirm yourself.
Yeah,
exactly.
You
Go-
are who
yes.
you are.
He goes
Exactly.
and eats by himself.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah,
time.
no,
That's
straight
a
up. I
good
do
time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Sometimes I go to
good
restaurants and
time.
bars, I just go have me
Same.
drinks.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. They'd be like, "Why you sitting by yourself?" I like sitting.
And
But
I'll make friends there.
Yeah.
That doesn't say that to say that men could like specifically, we're at an age where who you associate with does matter, right? I don't want to be around a weirdo. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
But realistically, when I'm walking into a relationship trying to date a man and trying to get to know him, I'm tunnel vision. All I care about is what he is for me. Everybody else around him, I entrust that if, as the woman I am, right, and the type of discernment I have and the nurturing spirit I have, I entrust that once I actually attach to him, because they're going to feel it, they're going to fall off. The ones that are not supposed to be there. I don't care how weird they are, detached they are, because for one, if a relationship is meant to be a strong oriented relationship, he's going to prioritize you. You're not going to have to tell him to do it, right? They're going to naturally fall into the order.
Right.
The other part of that is people are seasonal. So, you know, his 10-year-old friend, where he was his buddy, right? Like, that guy could have went off, lived in Germany, never talked to him again, or whatever whatever, right? But for us, it's always the small details. So yes, that may matter to you, but it never mattered to me because I realized it never mattered to a man. So I stopped caring about shit that they don't care about, because I can have friends of my own without trying to police the friends he have to get to know him.
Yeah, I think for me, I hear you and I agree with that. I think I'm looking at who are you at now, present time, who are you spending your time with, and what you're doing when you're spending time with those friends aligned with a lifestyle I want to move forward with. Because if you're like 40 and still drinking on a multiple times a week, or going out and you're inconsistent, or you're like, dang, I'm hungover again, and your whole day's shot because you partied yesterday and you forgot you're not 20.
Because
I mean, I do that
I
shit
hear
now.
what you're saying.
Yo,
right?
bro, look.
Hey, but you ain't got no kids.
I got no kids.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
nah, but
when does life
hell no,
stop?
hold up.
Why don't stop?
Nah,
Right.
you could drink, smoke dope and shit, still have kids. That's fine. And still be responsible, because you guys have
Correct.
responsibilities.
You gotta be
If
responsible.
you can do those things and you're not letting drinking and all this other shit that you're doing
Compromise you.
Yeah, compromise you or get in the way of the things you're doing, then you got a problem. That's when you got to change.
Correct.
But if it doesn't fuck with your day to day, why should you stop it? I mean, it's working for a reason. Like, look, I'll tell you right now. I said it earlier.
Yeah.
Since Friday, right? Since Friday, this past Friday, we've been going to, because we have a suite
Every
at the
day.
Rangers game.
Oh,
So
I've been. They're nice. Not to the suite, but I've been to the game.
Yeah.
You been to the game or the suite?
I've been to the game, not the suite.
Oh, okay.
I
See, that's
hope
where
that-
friends come into play. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You see what I'm saying?
I host that. So I host clients, right? I host clients and prospects, people I'm trying to close, whatever. But they like to drink because it's an experience for them.
It is.
So Friday, all it was drinking. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, yesterday,
Drinking.
that's all it was. But I still wake up in the morning and I'm still good. And
that's
we
great.
drink a
Yeah,
lot.
if it works for you.
a lot.
He's been going to a lot of the games with us now.
this
and
whole
so is
past
Roger.
week.
And he could see it. Like, we drink a lot.
But I don't.
Yeah.
And
That's the thing. I don't.
I don't.
No, yeah, for
But-
sure. I'm not saying that. Look,
Oh no, I get what you're saying.
Look, and that's the thing. Like, I always make it clear. Anyone that I'm talking to, anyone that came into my life, anything like that, look, this is what I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're not
If
cool
you're in
with
sales,
it,
it makes sense.
if you're not cool with it,
corporate America, because I'm in corporate
Yeah.
Oh,
America.
that's so
and they
true.
can-
Because even I
they
was
can
in
put it
Boston.
down.
Yeah,
You know what
corporate
I'm saying?
America,
Like,
they're waiting to
we
take that drink.
We
Yeah.
got
Oh, yeah.
a corporate event happening right now with multiple companies
Yeah.
within
That's so
our
true.
and it's just like
look,
That's a lie.
And again,
Yeah.
Rivers ass and shit.
no, it's not that bad, but it's
No.
definitely like.
Oh, I'm sure it gets that
Wait,
bad.
said
Hey, look.
now my company
on.
did give me tickets to a hockey game, and they
Yeah.
got pretty interesting, and they
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah, you want some candy?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Hey, look.
I'll take it to you from the
Hey,
bar.
look,
Give me a
I'll
margarita.
be
It's
real.
cool."
I've taken clients to strip clubs. Look, I've done all that. Take them, get bottle service, all that. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I like I said, I'm in sales. These are things that I have to do. So if I meet someone and I'm talking to someone, I tell them, hey, look, this is what my life is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not cool with this, that's okay. No worries. You're
But
good.
I think the issue
You know
comes
what I
into
mean? Like-
play. I do.
Yeah.
And I resonate with what you're saying because me and you are polar opposites. However, I had to come to the realization that as a woman who grew up in a 2-parent household with no outside children, with parents who are both church affiliated, right? And they're community figures. I was never ever gonna be the winner in the situation to say I was gonna always be in a realm to find somebody who matches me. Part of the issue is especially 30 plus. If you're 30 plus, you have to train your mind to understand if you can accept friends to be non-monolithic, you should be able to accept your partner to do that. Many people are in relationships with their person and they have hobbies that don't reflect them. And that's part of loving a person for
Let's
who
give
they
me
are.
an example. Give me an example.
She just mentioned it, drinking.
Yeah.
What you
Oh,
would-
okay.
Like, if she doesn't-
I'll do you one better, right? I'm a homebody. I love being at home. I want all of my money's worth for the month. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my last relationship, he
was always going.
he gonna be outside. He gonna be at the bar. He's going with the boys. He like to toss it back. He likes to watch the game. That was his thing, right? And I would have my moments where it's like I want to get out with my man. I want to go do what he's doing with his guys. Like he want to be with. I want to go. I don't shoot pool. I want to go see what he's doing because that's my man. But nothing makes me feel happier than being in my heated blanket watching a crime series and scrolling social media. Nothing makes me happier, right? Because I'm chilling. It's peaceful. It's quiet. I'm cool. The dogs at
Natural
home.
habitat. Yeah,
Right.
that's where you want to be.
But there comes a time where it's like you can merge a relationship with a person without them having to completely reflect you.
Yeah,
And we
uh-huh.
lose our sense of individuality trying to make people reflectors of us. And I had to learn that my happiness and my individuality is my responsibility
Right.
Yep.
while accepting him for who he is.
Yep.
So if he's like, hey, I got a client, babe, I'm not going to be into 3. Long as you come in and you don't wake me up, I'm cool.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But if this is what it takes in order for you to continue having your identity, continue you to build your rapport, you're a socialite, right? So what happens when you do have somebody who's the COO? And his job is to travel all the time. You can't go. You get what I'm saying? And those different structures we haven't acclimated to because we're so used to people reflecting us. But
Yep.
unfortunately, we're not in the culture anymore where everybody in your neighborhood grows up just like you, goes to the same church, goes to the same community. That's no longer our neighborhood. And once you deviate out of that neighborhood, then you become 30 plus. You've established your career. You've established your education. You've established your friend circle. Then you get to see, that's a part of humanization. They're different. Men are different. The shit that they like are different, and we have to learn to adapt to that difference.
That's why I feel like we tell guys this as well. They should stay single up until maybe 24, 25. Same thing with women, I feel, because it's like you're saying, once you can just stay single and just stay to yourself, then you get to learn what you actually like and who you are. Once you're with somebody from 18, 19, 20, then you get with a new person 2 years later, you keep learning all these new tendencies from these different relationships you're in. So now, yeah, that first guy you liked cars. Now you're taking you liked cars now to the next relationship. Now you're taking every little bit from these other relationships to the next man instead of saying, I don't even like cars. I'm not going to even deal with cars. If I get with a man later on, I'll show a little bit of interest, but that's not me.
You know where you're conflicted, though, with that? I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily disagree. But I could still have a very, very deep likeness for a man who makes an impact on me.
That I can get because, in a sense, a man and a woman are supposed to cater to what your man and your woman like.
No. I'm
To an
saying,
extent.
right, I went to college. When I went to college, I had a 3-year situation with a guy, worst 3 years of my life, and he knows it. It is what it is. I'm not bitter about it,
Yeah.
nothing like that. Like, he's cool people. We straight. But worst 3 years of my life. That was always the one situation where I said it only took me one time to learn my lesson. Every man from now on, I get it. I heard you. I understand. But there were other people after him that I ran into, right? First coming to Dallas, right? Because you got college, then you have what happens, in that ugly transition of getting into
Trying to
your
find a new
career,
job.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it's like you can have a crush on someone, and you don't have to have sex with them because I don't want that to be the point missed. But taking interest to someone could make you start doing those tendencies because I'm very firm and you cannot run from nature. Yeah. If a man likes a woman and she lives a certain lifestyle, you know what he's gonna start doing? Figuring out how to piece that lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it. And it's nothing you can tell him. That's your boy. That's your potty. You're like, bro, what are you doing? This girl hadn't even noticed you. She won't say nothing. Like, okay, dude, but I mean,
Wait till that time come. Yeah.
she's driving a BMW. She wears Chanel. You know, like she's got the YSL purse. Man, bro, her dad, he's off the golf tournament. I have to figure out a way to make sure that I can compete because I'm gonna approach her. So that's what they're doing. When it comes to women, they'll talk, but then they don't mean it when they actually like.
You know something I learned about that because you what you mentioned, right? If you run into someone, a lot of guys are like, how can I compete with that, right? How can I keep up with that?
Yeah.
A lot of the times, those girls aren't really. That doesn't give them the substance. Like
I agree.
I've heard it personally, like in the past, where it's like I've seen. Or I've met girls who will say, "Oh yeah, I've been in certain, Lambos, like exotic cars, and I get flown out." No, they're not. And you know what? And I went on a few dates like that too, and then I was told like,
"Oh, you pulled out the Rari?"
The way you and I, no. I'm not there.
I'm not there yet.
Hold on, I'm not there. But they told me it's like having conversation with you is something that actually gives me like I feel good about it. So they don't necessarily chase.
You're filling their cup.
Correct.
Yeah. So,
and that's why I say women who are always exposed to money don't think of it the same way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't come from money. I came from humble beginnings, but I have been exposed enough to not be impressed that way.
Yeah.
I look at the substance of a man. That's why I'm tone deaf when I hear stupid shit like going 50-50.
No, that.
But I said
shit.
that to his point to say, you're not wrong in saying like, hey, there's development that needs to happen because what you find is people are still trying to date like we're still in high school.
Oh yeah. And look, again, to my point, that only works if the woman really sees like the ambition in the man. Like, oh, he's working towards something. He's got he's got vision. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Like that only works with that. Now, if you're like some bum and like you ain't got nothing going on, like yeah, there's no chance for you whatsoever, right? Not with the kind of girl that gets treated that way.
No, because she wants the money. She's just not
she wants the
primarily
money,
focused on
sure.
it. It's regular.
It provides a good lifestyle, of course, having the money and all that. But if you don't have it now, and she goes on a date with you, but she sees that ambition that you are like money hungry and you do have like the hustle in you and all that. Oh yeah,
you can win her over with charisma.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
What were you gonna say?
I forgot at this point.
Oh, sorry.
But,
Oh, okay. Well,
I think you can win a lot of women over with charisma.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot
all
of
you
women.
need.
tell
you can.
Lily Jesus turned water into wine for a reason. Well, I do love me some wine.
I know that's right.
Not alcohol.
White or red or
That's the blood of
champagne?
Christ.
What do you
Huh?
like? White, red, or champagne? What do you like?
Well, I typically like a red. I've been on my Pinot Grigios lately. It is summer. But
Everybody like Pinot. Yeah.
what reds or white?
There is this wine called I want to say it's called Jordan. It's,
think I've
it's
heard
a
that one.
dry red wine, but it's really nice.
Ooh,
I had it with a
love a
steak.
dry
Those
red.
are rough. Those are good with steak.
And
Yeah.
honestly speaking, I'm a sweet wine person. But
I
this
want to
one's
come
a
back
little bit bitter.
I want to come back to. I love that. Give me the recommendation later. But
Yeah.
I want to
Target.
come
It's
back
at Target.
to. Oh, okay, cool. I boycott Target.
I did.
I think it's
shit.
Hey, I
don't
love
know
Target.
why.
I love
Target's
Target.
cool.
But
Shit's
boycotts.
stupid. We can talk about
Hey,
it.
you-
But
hey, you
Boycotts
get
are the only,
you get it.
literally
Look.
more effective than a vote. A
You get it.
boycott, you stop spending money.
No,
like, that's the
people
only way you
are
control
lying
anything.
to you as a person who's smart and don't fall for social media tactics and marketing. They're lying.
Hey, we need to
You're
boycott
out of
the
your
Cowboys.
mind if you believe Target lost money for decentering themselves from DEI.
Oh no, they still making
They
money.
didn't.
They still making money.
They haven't.
They
been-
reported it. I don't believe it.
Oh well, I do.
Yeah,
'cause
media
I,
is just-
I do think
Media's
that
a liar.
stuff. Well, because Starbucks was struggling too, and I love to see it personally.
Starbucks is struggling, but they keep opening it up.
I mean, I'm not following for social media. I
Right.
very much studied mass communication and social media actually because I think it's important to
For your line of work.
discern. Yeah, and
Yeah.
to just be discerning of all media
Correct.
consumption. Be discerning right now too of like what's AI and what isn't, and what. What comes with AI? What are the huge implications of that? Anyway, all that to say, I did want to come back to your. You said you're tone deaf when you hear 50-50.
Yes.
Please explain, because I'm trying to develop more of that mentality. Because I'm someone who sees a little too much potential a lot of the time.
As a person who saw my parents figure it out. That's not to say that they knew the all-encompassing things of marriage. No, I was a planned beautiful accident, and they figured it out. There will be things that your spouse are gonna do just better than you. There will be things that you're gonna do just better than them. Both things still have to be done. So when I hear people discuss parenting, or I hear them discuss finances, or I hear them discuss socialization issues that come with coupling, it's stupid, because regardless, it still has to be done, right? If I sit around and I bitch and nag about him not getting the kids ready for school, and now the kids have missed school.
Exactly.
Was it really worth the bitching and nagging because they still needed to go to school? Somebody had to do it, right? Or if I sit around and I say, well, I need you to pay all the bills, and I'll worry about the vacation stuff. Well, what happens when we can't take a vacation? What happens when we got a sick child? What happens if his company goes into blackout and he can't go anywhere?
Yeah.
It still has to be done. So when I think of coupling, I think of a partnership. First and foremost, I don't believe in actual partnership. I stopped saying I want a partner. I don't want a partner. Because when you ask for a partner,
you're going to get that
you're going to get a partner.
Hey,
you have to be very
50-50
careful of what you're asking. I don't want a partner.
Partnership.
I want a man who's going to come into my life and take over.
Yeah, 100%.
And whatever he wants to do, I want to do that. Will there be modifications? Will there be speeds? Absolutely.
Like,
but
what do you
we should
want?
have the same end goal.
Well, see, well, no, when you say that, what you said is correct, but modern women nowadays
I
want
already know
exactly what you said, but
Right.
their actions is like, I'm not going to do what you want me to do.
Right, because there is a sense of and this shit's so stupid to me, and I don't mean to curse a lot, right? I try to be mindful of that. I work in corporate America, so I don't curse a lot.
I'm in a big company now. I don't give a shit. I'll talk
Oh,
all the
like
shit I want.
know, I love my boss. Like he's
I do too. I respect
he's
my
the
boss a lot.
coolest
Yeah,
guy
he's cool
in the
as shit.
world. But he'll be in a meeting, he'd be like, "I'm so sick of this shit," and I was just be laughing. I'm like, "He's the coolest guy." He was like, he was talking to me today. He's going, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you if you're messing up, bro. I'm not gonna be fake with you guys. Like you're not gonna be like, hey, I'm being fake with you." He's like, no. And I was just like, he's so cool. But no, I said that to say, right, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm also very specific about what I want. There is a struggle for power. For women to say, and this is not to beat up on women or denigrate them, but women can't continuously say, "Oh, I want a soft life," but you're doing that with a sense of hesitancy. No, either you want this and you know what you want, or you don't. You can't say, "Oh, I want a man who's gonna make me submit." Why does he have to do something for you that you know how to do?
You should do that yourself.
You should do that yourself. There should not have to be an incentive for him to come in to do that, because one thing I can guarantee, many things have changed. The evolution of women is where we are today. But the idea of what men's priorities are have never changed. He is supposed to take care of his family. He is supposed to take care of his woman. He's supposed to take care of his household. He's supposed to take care of his kids.
You feel like the majority of men today still feel that way?
No, but I hold them to that.
But they should.
I was gonna say, I think men do feel that way. I just feel like they have not been able to get to that
And I'm
point.
telling you, they don't.
And I will tell you, I'm a man, and I'm telling you.
But that's why I'm
They don't.
big.
We're in America. No,
They don't,
I'm
and
big.
they don't have
Look.
the emotional intelligence to
emotional
to do-
intelligence. Everybody has emotional
No, hold
intelligence.
up.
unless you're
Hey,
psychopath.
hold up. I feel like no man should be going into a fucking relationship to struggle. That's bullshit. I feel like you need to really be in a place where you're able to take care and provide for a woman, right? And pay the bills, do what you got to do as a man. Protect her, provide, whatever, right?
And I don't believe that, because then you dehumanize men.
No, not at all.
That's exactly what's happening.
No, because you're putting yourself in a situation whereas if you go into a relationship and you're not ready for that to provide financially, hold on, hear me out. Financially, you're asking homegirl to move in with you and all that, you guys plan all that, but you're going 50-50, there's no respect. The woman is not going to respect you the same way as if you were to be taking care of everything.
I
right off the bat.
disagree.
100%. Oh, I've seen
let
it.
me
I've
tell
lived
you,
it.
and let me.
I'm no longer ever doing that.
I completely understand. Like, I'm not negating your experience. I'm telling you from a perspective of why I disagree. Right?
Okay.
I disagree because I think that a lot of times men are reinforcing the very thing that makes women disrespect them. So I don't subscribe to 50-50. However, when you said that, what you did was reinforce the idea that I should only respect you by your money. But I see you as a man first. When you walked in here and you shook my hand, what did I tell you? We're not equals. And I can tell by the way you shook my hand.
Sure.
Because I knew the moment the way you shook my hand, you saw me as a softer person.
Of course.
And that's what that should be.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you for anything. I met you as a person. So when we reinforce that idea, we teach women to seek out men for their resources. We teach women to disregard men's feelings. We teach women to not be as approachable when it comes to men who are just simply nice people. And that's where I want the idea of his money is equated to his respect. His money means shit. If another man can walk in the room and beat his ass.
Yeah, you got to kill that. The money is not what gives you respect.
Well,
don't get me wrong.
It's security for a woman.
I completely get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But it's what you're saying as a man in your experience. I'm not negating that.
Yeah.
I just don't like the way that it processes to women because in turn it hurts you.
Yeah, as a man.
Yeah, and then I think too, in that sense, you think you only have to show up in that way, and I expect my someone I'm dating or working toward a relationship or in a relationship with to be able to show up emotionally and just authentically, and not with this thing hanging over their head like, well, I have to make these marks and show up in exterior in this way I'm really like, actually, I'd love to know if you've been to therapy. I'd love to know what your relationship with your mom.
Therapy's bullshit. It's a scam.
But go ahead.
Well, and that's why I would say like that to me is why I wouldn't date someone like
psyop.
you. You know, like that's the thing that doesn't align with
really
me.
is.
So that's no, because my former therapist is my friend now, and actually we've had a lot of discussions over the last decade about decolonizing therapy and what that really looks like. I do think therapy, individual therapy, American Western idea of therapy is not as helpful.
You're so progressive in what you're thinking, but it's gonna backfire on you.
Yeah, you know
why? Because I said it out loud.
No, not because you said it out loud.
Therapy's
It's
like
because
a prescription drug.
You're interesting.
I think it is. I think it is too. I think it is too.
They can give you the whole solution in one single session, but they give you little tiny bits so you can keep coming back. That's the whole
money.
That's how they stay employed. Of course. Why wouldn't they?
But that's the same thing with pharmaceuticals.
For sure.
No,
exactly.
and no, that's why we hate big pharma.
Exactly.
That's why my therapist is my friend now.
Save that money.
I said that to say because there's this thing now, right? And what I hear you say, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong, right? Mm-hmm. Perception. What I hear you say is, I just want to be seen by my partner.
No, well, you
don't want to be seen.
I do want to be seen.
Because when you say things like emotional intelligence, which emotional intelligence is really just a person being able to acknowledge and recognize what emotion they're experiencing. So emotional intelligence isn't being able to emote or communicate what you're, it's just being able to acknowledge it, right?
Yeah, I literally want you to know what emotion you're experiencing.
Right.
And if you only know what sad, mad, happy, and you only know like 5 emotions.
But that would be emotional intelligence.
That's what I'm saying.
Many people are using therapy terminology to integrate into relationships without having the actual basis of that. And when I say, I hear you say, I want to be seen, what I hear you say is, yes, you want a person who knows how to prioritize all of these great things. You want him to have hobbies. You want him to be disciplined and take care of himself and worry about himself.
Yes.
But you also want him to be able to come, sit down, and have a rational conversation with you and be able to connect with you.
Yeah,
that's what I hear you say.
Which is
now, maybe
no, 100%.
Maybe I'm wrong, right? Because that's my perception. But when you say these things about like, hey, what's his friendship circle look like, and who is he, and are we progressing? I hear you say you want a partner who's gonna meet you where you are and being able to grow with you. That's what I hear you say.
Yeah, look.
What did I not?
No. I just expounded on it.
Okay, yeah, I feel like that's a pretty concise way.
She's just trying to understand what she's saying.
I feel seen.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I did.
You want your man to understand how you feel through certain events, I guess you can say.
I don't
But
even need you to fully understand, but I need
No.
you to hold space for the
Right,
fact
hold
that
space
this is
for it.
where
I was about to
I'm
say,
Here's-
at,
just
and-
listen.
And
But-
your willingness to have the conversation.
No, she wants feedback. She don't want, because if she just wanted somebody who can listen, she could just be with him. Because
Yeah,
he's gonna
so-
listen. He's gonna provide you a solution.
Well, no,
Yeah,
see,
exactly. I'll
because
give a
well,
solution.
no, see, because
But-
men give
but the thing is,
solutions. Yeah.
men give the solutions, right? So I'm not. My woman is not going to be my therapist. I'm not going to my woman for my problems. You know
Hell
who I'm
no.
going to? My friends, my
Yeah.
guy friends,
Yeah.
because if they're my circles because they've aligned so well with me and that we understand each other on the same level. So I'm not going to go to my woman for advice or even another woman for advice. I'll take their opinions.
I'm not
Yeah.
mad at you.
Yeah, because women look, not to put women down or anything like that, but women will say one thing and then they'll change completely.
That's why I
and do
said
something
women
else.
lie. Like you'll
100%.
see us do, but
So,
the reason why
yeah.
I said it's gonna backfire on you is not because you can't communicate those things, but because there are a lot of men today that recognize what women so yearn for. I'm not gonna say this because that's not the correct word. What women are yearning for,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And in that communication of what you stated, it could be easily to be deceptive. Because whereas men used to be like, oh yeah, I really like you, I want to get to know you, and and I'm not sleeping with nobody
No, I
else just to
hear you.
have sex. With some of them, and it's the simps, right? It's the panderers. They
The betas.
integrated women's spaces now
Mm-hmm.
and started associating relationships with certain therapeutic terminology to tell women what they want to go along to get along. And so that's why so many
Right.
women are like, I'm running into so many narcissists. Da, da, da. It's gonna backfire because what you're asking for is what that set of women are asking for and can't see it.
That's right.
Wait, they can't see it.
They
What
can't
did I
see that
miss?
they're being deceived.
Oh yeah, I will agree there.
They can't see it because it's like, oh, he's such a nice guy and he has all of these nice friends and he's not homophobic and he's cool and he's so open and he's so emotionally intelligent and he reads.
But
and
then
he's-
it's like you
and
get
then
to know
it's
them
like,
more, and you're like,
correct.
hey, wait, everything you said is not adding up.
You-
to the
you're
behavior.
a
See,
liar.
I like how you said at the
Yeah.
very beginning, you said that, damn, I can't remember what you said, but you said something about women not being able to, or they are able to play the game. Like
Correct.
you said, the men might think you're thinking this way, but you already know what's going to happen
Correct.
because you're controlling it all. So when you say that in the aspect of, oh, he's so nice, I would have never expected that, da, 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 you fell right into the game that he wanted to make you play.
Because it's men like y'all that are telling us don't fall for this, right?
No, yeah.
And
I'm
one
I'm
thing
type of
that
the guy
I
that's
have-
like, hey, don't do this because I'm a guy. I'm telling you, this is what I would do. So
Correct.
don't listen to him.
But in her defense, right, like she's not wrong because she's genuine, right? Like she's a woman. She's like, no, I really want this, and I
Yeah.
just, I'm just a girl, and I need my tire fixed, and it's like, you referenced it earlier,
Yeah.
and it's like she's approaching these conversations with genuine intent, but what she doesn't realize is the predator of men have changed.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And where at first it was like the predators of men were the guys who used to sit on the podcast mics like the Steve Harveys and the Derrick Jacksons, and they would just tell you everything that you want to hear. But like, girl, this is why he doesn't like you, and he's doing all of this. In the meantime, you got 3 divorces and a man taking women upstairs, walking past his wife.
Yeah.
And then you go and you shift that trajectory of the guys who's just like, oh, I'm attractive, but I ain't really trying to sleep with you, but I'm going to let you throw yourself at me. And I'm going to really sleep with you because it shifted, right? So you have to be able to keep up with all these men. Now it's the therapy talk. So men are, certain men, this is not all men, certain men are looking for key indicators. They're looking for those things that are really attracting a certain type of women because they know you're genuine. He's not.
This
And
is-
you
Yeah,
guys
but-
are being deceived, but
100%.
it's not in the way that you think because you're like, oh, he's the bad guy, and it's like, no, he just has an archaic mindset that turns you off because you're progressive. But this guy over here, he's gonna tell you, I'm not homophobic, and yeah, women should rule the world, and you're able to do what you want to do, and I'm not gonna stop you from having kids, and it's your body and your he's gonna say all the things
yeah,
that you
yeah.
need him to, that he needs you to hear, just to fuck you over. So be mindful of that. And that's
Yeah.
real genuine advice. I'm learning this is what's happening now. Like,
Yeah.
if you look on Threads, it's a lot of men in Dallas talking about dating in Dallas is bad. And I'm like, no way. No way,
No,
no
it's
way,
not.
no way,
Hell
no
no.
way, no way, no way. In my mind, I'm like, y'all lying. Y'all lying.
yeah.
But you see what happens is, and I don't know if you're on Threads, and I say Threads specifically is the app. check it out when you
No,
finish
yeah,
watching.
no,
Yeah,
I,
I
look,
see.
What's
I-
gonna happen is,
Yeah.
and I'll say this, and I'll be quiet, right? Because
Okay.
I really want to hear your thoughts. But when you look on that app and you see all these men are talking about, I'm looking for a wife and I can't wait to settle down. They get a slew of women in their comments, attractive women who are throwing themselves at them. And guess what they do? They wait a week, they wait a 2 week, and they say it again. Because guess what? They fucked the one they wanted.
Yeah, hey, you know, it's so
Sound
crazy
good.
because no, but that's being deceiving, right? And I don't believe in that. I feel like you need to be truthful with someone. Let
Yeah,
them
you tell them
decide
straight
whether
up.
they want to. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just trying to
But
smash.
look, to your point, where there's these guys, a lot of guys saying like, even here in the U.S. alone, why do you think a lot of guys are going out dating or marrying outside of the country? I don't really necessarily believe in that. I did in the
It's
past.
not happening.
I did in the past. But whereas like the whole passport
Yeah, it's
bro
not a
movement,
real
all that
thing.
shit.
Well, it's a real
happening.
thing.
It's happening.
It's a real thing. It's just not happening in
Yeah.
the numbers. So, but
So
yeah,
what
I
I
you're saying.
how I feel about that now is like you're giving up on what's here, and you're basically saying, "Look, I'm not that guy
Correct.
to
These
find
American-
someone here." You know what I mean? Like I'm not that.
Because ultimately,
Yeah.
you're still having to pay for it. So you're just
Exactly.
basically saying, I don't want to pay this hooker on the street who has low self-esteem and
Yeah.
she's hanging off of,
Yeah.
wherever. And I could clean her up and take her to the house and she's poor. And I know she has 1,000 bodies, but I'm going to go across country and pay you $2,000 in a flight and
Yeah,
give her
yeah.
$40 just to lick my penis. And it's like, hey,
But to-
bro,
to
she
the
would have took
point-
$40 on the corner. All you had to do was take
Yeah.
her home, make her take a bath, and go get her STD check.
Yeah, no,
She
no,
would have did the
look,
same thing.
Look, to the point, it's like what I'm saying is that you're almost disqualifying yourself as a man as being weak and not being able to attract someone here in the U.S. or here in Dallas, for example. But no, it kind of tailors also as well to how guys, you land a beautiful woman, right? And guys who are very insecure, who are very like, oh, you always have these guys in your DMs and you're always getting jealous, insecure, whatever. But the way you should see that is like, well, you're outbeating everyone that is in her DMs. She chose you.
Yeah.
You should be happy that you landed a girl like
That's
that.
why you in sales.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I met this girl that
Yeah.
like preaches to me how much she hates men and how creepy they are and how men
She's
are this
lying.
and men are that and like no, but she genuinely comes off as if she really does not like men. She's like,
No,
I don't
no,
even want to
she's
hang
lying.
around men. They're just this and that. And
No,
then-
no, she's lying. It's okay.
why is she lying though?
She's lying because in order for her to have that experience, she would have to be around men to get that fucking experience.
No, exactly. No, I understand. That's what I'm
But
saying.
the thing is, right, there is always one man who makes everybody shift the narrative.
No, see, that's what I was gonna say. Let me finish my point.
Okay, I don't
so
wanna think for
she
you.
comes off very strong as she hates men, which
Uh-huh.
is very feminism, right? She
Yeah.
comes off saying I don't really like men.
misandrous.
So again, with his point, whenever you can be that man, out of all the ones she hates every man, and you're that guy that she's like, you know what, y'all, you ain't too bad.
Yeah.
That's where you change the narrative of like, okay, I'm actually the guy that's gonna tell the truth because she could see through the lies and she knows majority of us are lying and she could see I'm not lying because I'm telling the truth straight off the bat. Now she's gonna say you're more of the men that I would be okay with being around, but majority are all the same. That's why I don't like none of y'all.
It's a defense mechanism.
No,
That's why
I know, I
she's
get it.
lying. So I do feel like she's lying. I believe a lot of women are lying when they come from that approach.
Because I would just say that
You
from a
can't
lot
be
of, I would just
humanistic
say a
nature.
lot of women in the bottle girl space would probably feel that way because they know how men are trying to come out with them. No, bottle
But
girls,
then-
clubs, bartenders, it's all the same. When I go, it's the same thing as a strip club. When I go to a strip club and a girl walks up to me, I don't even like it because I know it's not genuine.
Yeah.
I know you really ain't coming up to me
Yeah.
because you think I'm cute or I'm handsome or whatever it is.
Exactly.
You're really
Shut up.
coming up to me because you just want this money. And it turns me up. I don't even want to look at you. I hate it when I'm at a strip
I
club.
came in here to be disgusted.
Yeah. I just want to look and enjoy
No,
it
I
a
walk
little
the
bit.
wings
And if
'cause
I
they
want
good as
to,
fuck. They're
I just
good.
don't want y'all coming
I
up
went
to
to
me.
Texas in Miami's. It was amazing.
It's true. I mean, we've gone to strip clubs, right? And we'll just go there because either
We're hanging out as
general
guys.
manager, we get a discount at the bar,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's decompressing.
But
We hanging out.
We get approached all the time, and it's like, oh, hey, Poppy, you just like some company? I'm like, nah, my boys are my company. I'm
Yeah,
good. Look, I'm not
I-
gonna waste your time. You're beautiful and everything, but
Right.
look, there's
Don't
that guy
come shake
across
your
the
tits
bar.
over here.
He
Nah,
looks
yeah,
like he about to throw some,
Yeah,
throw
yeah,
some
yeah,
money
Yeah,
at
go
you.
over there. I don't even.
He
that-
says deprived. Lady, I came here to toss back
Yeah.
some drinks. Y'all got the best happy hour. It's relaxing, right?
I ain't even here for you. I'm here to just hang out.
He finna
Yeah.
network,
I ain't even
right?
here.
Like,
I ain't even
y'all
trying
got
to
the
do all
vibe.
that. But see, that's for me in my perspective. I could see if I feel like that of women in a strip club. I could see why women would feel like that inside of a club with men doing the same thing.
And then the
Knowing
feminist
every
in
guy
me-
coming up is just probably trying to smash you because you're showing me your body right now in these little pants, I'm seeing it. So all I know, women know, anytime I get approached in a club, they really are sexualizing me, and that's probably what they want is just to smash.
And
so it's the
then-
same thing, vice versa. If I'm in a strip club, she's only coming up to me because she wants my money.
The feminist in me has to say, don't take away our autonomy and our agency, because I can be in a strip club if I want, but if I didn't want to be sexualized, I just didn't have to go work at the strip club.
No, you're right. And most
Yep.
girls don't want to be sexualized.
Well,
That's not.
They don't want to be, but everything they do is
No.
being sexualized.
no, that's
In my
not-
opinion.
no, that's not true.
You don't think so? Well, obviously, as a woman, you're not
It's
going to say
a
that.
spectrum of it, because
It
I
is.
think like
I
sometimes
like how you said
I
that.
dress well, not even. I actually just naturally kind of
Cover up
dress
a little bit. Yeah, modest.
or
Yeah.
very casually, I guess. But I think it's a spectrum, and it's expression, it's fashion, and I think the thing is, a lot of men are like not thinking in a fashion forward way when they look at a woman's outfit. Sometimes I'm like, I can look at an outfit that you might think is slutty, and I'm like, whoa, she really like
She put that
thought
on.
into
Yeah.
this, and she looks like a mermaid, or she's
No, them fashion over bodysuits that's fishnet is slutty.
Oh yeah, there's for sure some thoughtiness in there. There's some thoughtiness in there.
Fashion either. Fast fashion is terrible fashion.
Yeah.
It doesn't look
Horrible.
good.
Fast fashion is
That's
horrible.
all Fashion Nova.
It's horrible,
Rue
and
21.
it's like the worst to me.
Rue 21 is almost out of business.
Yeah,
It's
let them
expression
go.
of fashion,
Let them
'cause-
go.
But I was gonna say, I like the word you use, spectrum, because I was gonna say it is a scale of sexualization. If I'm attracted to men, I want the male gaze. Like, don't get that misconstrued.
You want the man
I
hanging
want
out with gays?
male gaze.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Jay-Z, like, bro,
Gays, Jay-Z,
whatever.
gay.
Like, men, some of y'all got gay brothers, gay cousins, right? The
Yeah,
boy used to help you fight. Like, it is what it is, right? You know, Ricardo a little, yeah, but that's your boy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't mean that. What I'm saying is, I think that we have gotten to the point where we deviate from the scale of that spectrum, and it's so extreme. You have some men where they really just simply don't find the means to say, that's a woman. She probably doesn't want to feel uncomfortable, even if she is disrespecting herself. Then you have some women which will do things for male validation and get mad that they get it. Because if I'm walking outside and you see my ass hanging out my Daisy Dukes, and you see my titties, and you can see my nipple rings through, which I don't have, but I'm just making the description, right?
Yeah.
There shouldn't be this confusion as to why that 5'4" man and that 6'7"
Your
man are
neighbors.
giving you the same type of attention.
Looks,
And it's
attention.
nasty attention. It's not very comfortable attention. There should be no confusion on this. But there also doesn't mean just because you see me walk outside and there's a slit in my dress, right? That I want you catcalling me. Like, I know I'm attractive to you, right? But there is a better way to approach it. So I do think that there is a spectrum. And women have gotten to the point where they like to challenge the idea of predatory senses to prove a point that shouldn't be proven. Because I don't need to use myself as an example for an extreme or put myself in harm's way trying to perpetrate what a man may or may not do.
I hear you. I don't think
tell
it's
girls that all the
right.
time.
I hear you though. I just feel like at this point, and this is the argument. I mean, the argument to that point, I guess, is that our expectation of men is never high enough. It's always the responsibility is on women. So yes, she should. I mean, obviously, women are taught to be a little more cognizant of what's happening around them. What
Because
are you
we're more
wearing?
independent
Is it
now.
dark? Is it, are you going to a parking lot, like put a key between each finger type of thing? Like, we're prepared.
Oh, I don't do that. I have my gun on me, but I understand where you coming from.
Nice. Well, that
We
was
in Texas.
I'm thinking like the first that was something my dad taught me early on. My sister and I was, if you're in a parking lot alone, like that's something to do, and it's his it was his knowledge of how men behave, and the sad thing is the expectation is we just are decent human beings and men aren't, able
No, because that's not realistic.
That's not realistic.
It's not
yeah.
realistic, and especially present day when we have a literal rapist, sorry to get political, in office. It's like every day where women are communicated to that this is okay behavior from men, but what you do is not okay because
I don't believe that. And I'm gonna tell you why. That is PR. And I say it's public relations talk from women, because how I grew up, I can't speak for your environment, right? This is why I say I don't believe that. Not to say that you're wrong or how you're thinking is wrong. I just simply don't believe that, because
what part don't you believe?
When we're saying women are taught to just take the onus and men are let off the hook. The reason why I don't believe that is because as a girl with the father who got to fighting in the street with a man for staring at me too hard, right? As a girl who grew up and I couldn't walk around corners without my cousins, my neighbors, and my dad's friends who had respect for him in the neighborhood checking up on me, saying, oh, why are you out this late? I'm going to call your dad, this, that, and the third. Having male cousins, dating wasn't a thing for me. I never got the experience that men were not held accountable for not touching my innocence. And I say that as a person who has a uncle who doesn't respect women's agency, if you read between the lines. And I had to deal with the fact that my dad had to tell his brother, if you touch my daughter, I will kill myself. So I hear where you're coming from. When we start making these PR statements to alter what's really happening, we live in a more independent society.
What about that was PR, though?
Not PR as far as what you're saying. PR is, and this is how socialization
they
has
want it
changed.
to
So
go.
when I say PR, I mean like this is the public relations talk. This is the same speech that every woman gives when we have this conversation. That's what I'm saying about that. So that's what I mean. That's because today we live in a more independent society. So going back to our community, right? Just 40 years ago, if we were in a community, you're in a community of most people who were married. You knew your neighbors. You knew everybody who grew up around you. And you had the same common interests, right? You went to the same school. You went to the same church. You went to the same community events, et cetera, et cetera. Now, most women who are 30 plus, if they don't have kids, they live alone. They're not in a relationship. So who's responsible for you?
Them.
Correct. So we keep trying to make it seem as if men don't understand this, but truth be told, the average man isn't walking around grabbing your ass.
Yeah, well, I think what I was saying is that we are told to watch for men's behavior, and men aren't told to watch for the dangers of women's behavior.
And that's just simply not true. Because
because in that sense, too, even your example where you said if you were walking around a dark corner, you had all these men making sure you were safe, but what were they making sure you were safe from?
Other
scary
men.
men.
Other men.
Not potential scary women.
And that's why I said it's not true, because what we forget to actually acknowledge is I was doing that as a child. But if you look at statistics, most statistics will tell you molestation starts from women to children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's that? Pull
Always.
that up, Roger.
Always.
Yeah, pull that
And
up.
That's why
So you're saying more women molest
women
younger kids?
abuse children.
Okay.
So when I say we're taught this, we're taught from a PR standpoint that women good, men bad. And we're taught that by society, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is women are just protected because men don't cooperate the most, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about what happens to boys, when we talk about what happens to girls, most girls are introduced to quote unquote sexual misconduct from men by their mothers. First boyfriend, partners, et cetera, et cetera.
At an early age.
The culprit,
Correct.
But it's
most
two culprits.
It's not two. It's one, right? Because the idea is women are to protect children. Women always protect children. I can trust my child around this woman. Doesn't matter if she's white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Native American, Indian. Doesn't matter, right?
Okay.
I can trust this woman around my child. Well, even here in the good old state of Texas, right over here in Fort Worth, just about 2019, 2020, there was a woman walking around watching single women go into their apartments, helping them being sex trafficked. Yeah, she would go and knock on women's door late at night, crying.
So true. Yeah,
Crying.
I won't
and,
argue.
I need help. And so I'm not saying that you're wrong for how you think. I'm just saying that the narrative has always been shifted. Men bad. Oh, watch out for men. No, it's the execution of it. Because if me and you are out, right, and I happen to feel your breast, I feel your bosom. Technically, I didn't ask you for consent.
Yeah.
I just assaulted you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're not going to react the same way as if it were a man who did it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go, what the fuck? And throw your drink or, raise the scene.
If it's a
but I
guy.
sexually assaulted you. And you felt like it was okay because I was a woman. So we have been training ourselves to think men bad. Oh my God, it's dark at night. We're watching out for men. And the whole time, women are predators and culprits right under us.
Yeah.
Most boys who have had an early sexual experience had it from an older woman around his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What do you need?
I'm not going to argue with that. It's not something I've heard, but it's
do your research.
And that's the thing. I haven't.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too,
What do
because
you
I'm
mean
like,
you need
I
consent?
did.
What do you mean you need
girls.
consent?
I remember this was in college, like being part of literally like a teacher, a professor's assistant, entering data and listening to accounts of sexual abuse. And I don't remember if any of them were women. I do remember so many, if not all of the abusers I encountered in these interviews I was listening to and logging were by men, and typically by someone that they knew,
Uncle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an
yeah.
uncle. What did you say?
The gay uncle.
So that's not something I'm saying on record. I'm saying it's typically a creepy uncle, or like a cousin, a male cousin, something like that. That's what I've encountered a lot, but I haven't looked at the data.
And I'm not saying
lately.
you're wrong, right?
And I will say too, like it's not that I haven't heard of sexual abuse by women. I very much have by friends and people I've encountered, but it's just not it's not communicated to the masses. That's not
correct,
the narrative.
and that's all it is, right? So that's not to say what you're saying is wrong, which is why I'm making you aware. Like, I don't subscribe to it because you said you study media. So guess what happens in media? When I run a statistic, I can find a statistic that has a bias for me, and you can find a statistic that has a bias for you.
Yeah.
So when we talk about what happens, right, I'm very cautious about attempting to demonize men in the way that I think of men without eliminating risk mitigation, because that doesn't change the fact that people are people. You're still at risk of these harms and these dangers. But I'm more precarious of the fact that don't think that girl beside you won't do it to you, because when we looked at it was a girl who went to Mexico, and I really forgot her name, right? Went to Mexico with a group of female friends. She didn't come back. She died because she was with her friends.
Right, yeah.
There was the girl who was in the house with all of these women friends, and it was at a sleepover. She didn't come back because she was in the house with a group of female friends. And we typically let those things overshadow. So the difference between women and men when it comes to executing violence, men are more successful. That doesn't mean that women don't make just as many or more attempts. And women typically take it, or more. Women typically take it out on children if they are to be more successful. Because the idea is, oh, well, I'm not going to let this uncle watch little Bubba, but I'm going to let Marlene, my friend, watch Bubba, who's 12. And then he became 13, and he became 14, and he's starting to grow chin hair and look like his dad. He got the little mustache, and his voice is changing, and he's broad, and his chest poking out, and he's playing football, and now he having sex.
Wouldn't we say that same situation of men or women taking advantage of the young kid, or whether it's a man or girl, as a younger one?
I don't make the differentiation. I think that both people have the potential to be harmful. That's the point I'm making.
What I was gonna say is, I would say that's nowadays that's even more
potent.
potent
Yeah.
in the older ages as well. A good example from my perspective, from what you're saying, that I would think is a good example is the basketball player Jalen Green. He's 21. But he's getting with and has a baby with a 37-year-old woman, where it's like your mind is so much more and experience is so much more ahead of his that he doesn't even know better to think that you wouldn't try to screw him over
frontal
or
lobe
what
isn't
you're here
even
for.
fully
Exactly.
developed.
So the idea of, if you just reverse it back, what we like to do is if she's 37 and he's 21, the age gap is what? I don't know. What is that? 16 years? Let's reverse it back. Let's go back to when she's 21 and go back to 16 years. Okay, he's 5. That's like you're saying, that exact scenario where she's 21 and he's 5. This is a really bad scenario where a woman could potentially take advantage of him. But no, we're not going to think of it like that. Let's just wait till he's 21 and she's 37 and let's just overlook it because he's a man and he can make his own choices and he knows what's going on, right? But it's the same concept. Her mind is so much more further. Her experience of screwing men over is probably the same thing, even heightened more now that she's with a younger guy, that so many men are getting taken advantage of.
So 2 things are happening here. I understand your point. I don't necessarily agree, but I do understand where you're coming from. That goes back to what he said when he's like, oh, well, I don't believe a man should be in a relationship if he can't do anything for a woman. Jalen Green can do everything for 5 women, for 12 women. So just because Jalen Green is a millionaire ball player and there's that average Jacob that's going to TXU. You get what I'm saying? What made Jalen Green the exception to the rule? Because he makes millions. You get what I'm saying? Like, so that part there is where I don't resonate with that, because when you get to describing the aspect of taking advantage of a person, right? I personally feel like adults are going to be what adults be, right? I think that I remember being 21, had my own place, had a car, made decisions, understood what I was doing. I wasn't incompetent. So we can discuss frontal lobe all day long. I don't believe that I was a victim of my choices. I don't. However, I do understand that if it were a 37-year-old man, or for instance, Shannon Sharpen, the OnlyFans girl, she's old enough to get an OnlyFans. Nobody had a problem with that. But now because he's almost 60, it's the problem because he wants to take his money and use it on her. But if it was the other way around, like a bad baby, and she's able to buy an $8 million house and gouge over $50 million on OnlyFans, and she's taking advantage of all these men, we're promoting the sugar baby culture. The double standards exist. However, at some point, we have to stop infantilizing actual adults, because I remember being 18 and 19 and 20. And I remember being 21, 22, 23. And I was not a victim of circumstance. I was making them decisions and you couldn't tell me shit. So we have to be able to pick, which one is it going to be? Is it, hey, at this age, we got these influencer girls with the BBLs at 22 and she can go be on a yacht with the millionaires and at the golf course and etc. She can go sit courtside.
She ain't got a
and
daddy.
she can make all this money on OnlyFans and be in the videos, right? And she can do what she wants. She's a woman. She has agency. And we got these 21, 22-year-old ball players, and they can go sign a contract, and they can go and ball out, and they can do what the fuck they want, right? And we're like, cool. They can go get in the draft. They can go fuck up their credit. They can go do whatever. But then we want to minimize their agency when it comes to them having relationships. Either they're victims or they're not. Either they're old enough to make these decisions or it's not. But we cannot ride the fence off a double standard.
They're not. I'm going to say they're
100%.
not. I'm going to go ahead and say they're not.
You know,
Like they said, you don't even become adult till you're 30.
I don't believe that, though.
Yeah, I mean,
So when do you think you become an adult? Just because your experiences in your age
Scientifically,
and your
it says
environment?
the frontal lobe development, which she mentioned, is 25.
For
However,
women, or is that for men?
No, that's period.
Oh, okay.
By the time you're 25, 25 to 28, your brain
Yeah.
stops growing. That shit done.
Yeah.
But so she's not wrong when she talks about the frontal lobe. But mentally, most people actually develop who they are in their personality as 11, and the average person doesn't mentally grow past 15. So most people's interests are still what their interests are. They've just evolved. Evolution of people happen, but the way that they do things, what they remember I referenced and said a lot of people still date like they're in high school. So you'll have girls that say, if you can't go 24 hours without texting me, then I don't want to talk anymore. But it's the
Good.
reality
I don't
of
wanna talk
when
shit.
I was in high school, I had those hours to talk to you.
Yeah.
I didn't have shit else to do. We were in school. I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
So I have family to take care of. I have a social life. I have work. Sometimes that means coming home and working in my office. I create content. I can't always give you all of my undivided time. So that is kind of where the conundrum comes in. If you're talking scientifically, people, even at 40, if he liked video games and he liked, baseball cards or whatever, he was interested in that. At 15, the likelihood even is at 40, he's still liking that stuff.
Yeah.
So just because at 25 his brain finished developing does not mean that he was incompetent at 21.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. But I'm looking back on your mind would still be different. Like, because even now I could look back at 21 and be like, I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have done this. I could have done that better. That's evolution,
though.
Yeah.
That's just to simply saying, now that I have had this experience, it wasn't that cool, bro. Or I could have made a better decision, or people told me, right? Risk mitigation, which we talked about when you're talking about, I see my female friends and they're doing this. And now because she's a woman and we're friends, I see them do it. That's the concept of, I don't have to want my house to burn down because I see other people have a house fire. So that doesn't mean that you making them decisions was going to stop you from being the person that you were. But you still made them decisions and had them experiences. You evolved, but you're still who you are at your core.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't even know that, like, at 11 and 15. Well, actually, it's true, because, I still like baseball, and I used to play
by the
baseball
time, I don't know if you guys, I think he doesn't, but if you have no children, right?
Yeah.
If you, nephews, nieces, cousins, whatever, right? If you look, by the time they're 11 and 12 and 13, if you don't like them, you're probably not going to like them. And you should feel ashamed about their fucking people, right? So by the time they get 21, 22, 23, their maturity is going to elevate off of life experiences. But who they are, if they're arrogant, they're going to be arrogant. If they're cocky, they're going to be. If they're a dickhead, that's what that's going to be. Like at 12, at 13, if they're abrasive, that's who they are. And it's scientifically proven their personality sets in then.
So if you're always controlling, you're always going to be controlling.
That could be developed.
Got it. Check.
Triggers and traumas and shit like that happen over time.
Yeah, but you could take all those lessons, all the things that you did, and really, did you learn from them, or are you going to take accountability from them?
Yeah,
because that's really where it comes from. It's like, all my 20s, I fucked up all my 20s, like. Legit.
Yeah, we're supposed to though. You're supposed to. Yeah,
I fucked up like 100%. I got into so much shit, and I'm still kind of like having to overcome those things,
rebuild it,
and. It's basically closing doors and again just taking
survivor's
accountability
remorse.
Of saying, hey, look, maybe I shouldn't have done that,
right?
Cool, but I'm not gonna do it now, but I won't play the victim card. You ever notice how like people who, I would say, people who play the victim card, it's like they don't take that accountability, they don't take responsibility of their things, and it's like every single time that something happens, say at work, like why am I not being recognized for this? Why am I not being, compensated for this? Well, maybe there's something you didn't do. And it's like every time there's a victim card. So again, I agree. Take accountability. You have responsibility. You be who you are, right? And learn from your lessons. Now, if you don't learn from them, then that's you. You're just completely fucked.
I think it is what you're saying is true to a point, because I do think there are people, there's part of the human race that would love to stay there, and then there's a big part of the human race that's like actually committed to evolving themselves as in their lifetime.
And the baby boomers, they like, and baby boomers are not growing progressive.
No, they're done. No, we're waiting for them to die off.
That's literally our president, and everybody's sitting in fucking Congress.
That's why we're waiting for them to die off, basically. Like, you should not be 80 in Congress. Right. It needs to be a cutoff. How you gonna cut
because the shit is what it is.
How you cut a president off at 60?
Even down to inflation. Like, realistically, we are the most educated, and we make the most money of anybody.
And we're in
the most debt, and we cannot afford the American dream. So to your point, right? There is people who lack to evolve, and that would be them. That's that generation.
The baby boomers. We're waiting for those. As soon as those die off, the world is gonna really start changing even more. That's why they say by 2050 we're gonna be more AI. Everything's gonna progressively change, because, like we said, now that mindset is gone. You're talking about all these 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds are dead now. That mindset of racism and other stuff is still gonna exist, because they taught people, but there's gonna be less of it. And there's gonna be less of people saying, "Hey, we don't only want democracy or whatever it is."
Human interaction will deviate, not so.
Which is so bad. Yeah, exactly. Less human.
People are tribalistic, right? So naturally, it's more common for people to have one type of populated neighborhood. Which, we're in Dallas, so you'll see it out here. There's a whole Asian neighborhood in Carrollton.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, Carrollton.
There's
Yup,
a
Carrollton.
whole Indian neighborhood in Las Colinas.
And Richardson
Frisco.
too. Richardson.
Right, and then you have a whole African community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then in Grand Prairie, it's literally one side of Grand Prairie, just Hispanics. It's nothing else. So it's like tribalism is the thing amongst people.
Yep.
But to your point, right? Once AI or technological advancement starts to become more of a social integration, then we will have less of those socialized stigmas and cultural influences than we used to.
Which is bad. You
Very
want
bad.
you want the culture exposures,
Even the bad parts of it.
even the
You
bad
want
parts.
it,
You can
yes.
understand all sides of it, everything.
Well, that's what helps people come together, right?
And you think the technology advancing and AI is going to help facilitate that?
No,
Or
No,
I don't think
it's
so.
gonna
I
be
was like,
worse.
yeah.
Look,
I
the-
think there's. I mean, just even now, people are talking to Chat GPT like they're friends.
Correct.
And that's really,
I don't know who does
It's
that.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
who
I
does
haven't
that.
even
anyone
downloaded
who does,
it.
but that's
Yeah, I don't
apparently
know.
a thing.
Hell no.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's.
Hey, how's your day?
It became like a meme in a sense, like in case
But I
AI or
think it
robots
is-
ever
I
take over.
think-
It's like I always talk to ChatGPT like please and thank you. Please,
I'll be like, please. You want me to
Yeah,
continue?
for
Please.
It started with Siri. Then
Yeah,
we moved
yeah.
to
Yeah.
Google
But-
Play
Yeah.
and Alexa.
Look.
It's been here.
Look, sure, and at some point we all have to align to it as well because I mean the reason why it's out there is like if I don't do it, someone's gonna do it, right? Or if I don't learn it, someone else is gonna learn it, and those people say, okay, a lot of jobs are gonna be taken away. Well, those who know how to program AI are the ones that really are gonna stick around.
Yeah.
You still have to know how to program it, but look, with that, I do feel like we're gonna go into a world where it's gonna be very. You ever seen the movie Wall-E?
Yeah.
It's been years.
yes.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Smart
People
House.
lose, like,
Smart house.
their,
That's a good one too.
Yeah, I was thinking about
we
Smart
are
House.
moving towards more smart house
we're
stuff
moving
too as
towards
well.
more Smart House.
I think they're even working on a full AI house right now. Obviously, it's
They
like a
probably
prototype.
already had
but
one, to be honest
it's
with
like
you,
a
'cause
prototype, but
you
I know
see
they're
that,
working
like,
on that.
Instagram will put everything in your algorithm, but you see those houses where you like click a button, your shades drop.
Yeah, yeah,
and then,
yeah.
Like, the
They
work-
got that whole
and,
pad,
like,
yeah.
Kim Kardashian showed like her sink where she presses a button and like the whole sink just comes open and then it disappears and it's
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
lit.
So
That's
those
pretty
things are a micro extension of it to a degree, but sometimes you can be on vacation and you're sending alerts to your home by a button on your phone, or you're
Yeah.
calling into your house to tell your house to do
I
certain
don't think
stuff.
this is a whole other deep conversation, but or long conversation, but I don't think that that's going to be more common than people finding community and building community through like mutual aid and growing their own food, more farming and communities taking care of themselves. Because
No, that's not gonna happen.
I don't think so either.
We're way too far past that.
Gardens? I haven't seen somebody garden besides my brother in the backyard.
It's gonna happen. I don't think that.
I don't think we have power over anything. I think the whole objective here is to be controlled. I feel like people
Yeah.
who are power,
No, I
will
know,
love-
but I
they
think-
want control.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and I think too, we see this now. Like, if you're not falling in line to be controlled, then you're kind of,
You're the
falling-
outcast. and
Yeah.
we
The
want
reason
you-
why
we
what
want you
you're
off.
saying is not going to happen is because people don't have the actual tools and resources in mass like they used to. Like, it used to be a common thing for a man to go fishing and a woman to come home and cut it up and gut it and clean the fish and
But
actually
that's what
cook
I'm
it.
saying. There is a big return to that.
It's
People-
not, though.
Well,
That is
that's what's on my algorithm. I think
right,
our
and
algorithm
that's
looks
what I was
very-
My
going to
algorithm
tell
is
you.
fire.
Right, I knew exactly where you were coming from.
But I see it in person too, because I do see community gardens popping up.
Convenience is the name of the game.
and,
It's not. It sounds.
I agree, I hear you, and I appreciate your perspective, but I do think mine is valid. I think that we see it. I know people. I have a coworker. She
But
has a
that's
farm.
You're talking about
that's a very
proximity.
small-
You're not talking about what's
Yeah.
happening in large, right?
Exactly,
And I'm not
exactly. You're talking about-
minimizing
yeah.
you, right? And I don't want it to be taken that way. But you have places like Wyoming where,
Mm-hmm.
like, literally a whole state, the population of the state itself is small and it's nothing but farmland. Ohio, you can move out to Ohio right now to the outskirts where you're not talking about Columbus or Cleveland. They will literally pay you to move out there because it's nothing but open land, right? And with farming now. There, I forgot the name of it, but we can look it up. I have no problem with that.
I'm not making an argument that that's going to be the dominant way of living. I'm saying there's a return to it. So as much as we think that people are going to have Kim Kardashian sinks, I think the more common thing is going to be like inaccessibility, because right now we see it's harder for people to even afford an iPhone upgrade, but they're more likely to maybe buy some heirloom seeds and start like
do you know how many people actually do you know the stat of how many people actually own a smartphone in the country? Do you know that stat?
No, but I know
78%.
I was gonna say it's got to be over 80%.
It's not. It's 78%. So that means that 22% of people don't own a smartphone. You know who those people are? Those people are the people who live in rural communities, the older people in nursing homes,
Flip
the people,
phones,
the dying generation, right?
Baby boomers.
I hear what you're saying. Nothing in social media world is actually a reflection of what's happening. If it were, the president would be the president, and that's a harsh reality for millennials to accept.
What do you mean if it were
in media? Donald Trump did not get the biggest push in media, right?
That was...
based off of the trend. And I say this to make the point, not to say whose side I'm on out there. But in media, right, by projection, when Joe Biden decided that he was going to drop out and allow Kamala to run as his primate, as the secondary, right?
Yeah.
So she took the spot. Over 24 to 48 hours, billions of dollars were raised to help fund her campaign.
Yep, that was the narrative pushing her.
And it was pushed that she was the most progressive, she's more qualified. You know, she ran out the contingency of women's rights and the proliferation of children in feminism and education.
Her body,
she attempted
her choice.
well, not her body, her choice per se, but it was more so encompassing what women's division of, right? And she attempted to target and emote with the human basis, but she left out other demographics of people. She didn't address in totality what the main American issues was. She may have targeted millennials, she may have targeted millennial women.
Yep.
She did not target
what's the
core basis of
she wanted those
people.
votes. Yeah, she wanted those votes. The
They
majority.
both
really...
wanted votes.
Yeah.
I said that to say that what we see on the internet isn't a reflection of what's happening in real life.
It is.
I know it's not. I'm just telling you that I do think that that's something. I'm not saying it's going to do numbers and I have data. I'm saying that I see it happening and I know people who are.
They still do it. It never stops.
They're going to do it, but
never stops.
We're going too far out. Too far out backwards in the sense that, like, again, okay, look, to your point, right? The reason Trump got elected and all this, it's not really us. Do you know
it
who
wasn't
really,
us. That's the main point. It wasn't us.
That was the baby boomers.
On TikTok
not even.
And moving them
Not
numbers
even.
in the algorithm.
Look,
It wasn't
come in
us.
and all that, but you know who really gets the push is who actually aligns to the party. Do you know what the party is? And I'm not talking about the House of Representatives. I'm not talking about none of that.
No, it's big business.
I'm talking about the lobby.
The private fund is the lobbyists.
The Israeli lobby.
Hey, no, you think he's playing, but he's for
I
real.
don't even
I
bring
think
it
he's
here
for real.
to
Yeah,
the
he's
whole-
for real.
Israeli lobby, right? I mean, that's really what it is. If you want to look into it, it's
No, what you're saying, I've already done my research.
yeah, it's true. I mean, and again,
So money.
money and control.
Yep.
Right?
The reason why I push back on what you were saying though is because I grew up in the country, so hunting, fishing,
Cowboy
that shit
hat.
is a way of life.
It
Like
is.
literally, we own 22 acres of farmland, right? I was out with the horses. We had bulls, we had goats, we had chickens. We used to get up and go to the country with my great aunt and uncle, and we would have fresh chicken eggs for breakfast and real turkey and shit like that. So the idea that it is being brought back isn't true. What's happening is the people who are already invested in those things just begin to show you it's a niche for that too. So we're seeing where the culture of social media has allowed everybody who's interested in anything to show you what they can do and the traditions they pass down. One of the most interesting things that I saw in the pandemic was when they ran out of formula because manufacturing shut down. We were behind. There was women on social media, Black and Hispanic specifically, they started making baby formula from scratch.
The formula or like breast
Baby
milk?
formula.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not out the titty.
Oh, okay.
They were making at home Black women and Hispanic women because it was older too. Older
like
Black women and
natural
Hispanic
things,
women.
natural
At
organic
home
things?
in their kitchen, they were showing how if you had a diaper, because what we think as a diaper isn't a diaper, it's a pamper. A real diaper is a cloth that's held together by pins. They were showing babies, they were showing young girls and younger moms how to actually have a diaper because the stores and the manufacturers are running out. So where you're seeing that, right, what I'm seeing in my algorithm, because of culture and what we're interested in, is now all of these Black cowboys. But I know that's my history. My uncle was a cowboy. He wore cowboy boots and a hat every day. I got an uncle out here now. Walker, Texas Ranger filmed on my family property all of his shows. So those things aren't a return. They're just being catapulted on the internet. People have always been doing those things. They're always farmers, always agriculture, horticulture. They're still there.
I guess my point is when it's made accessible to the masses in that way, because then I think of the trad wife that trend, and people are like, well, I'm making, I have my own cow, and I'm or what's that ballerina farm, I'm thinking of her too.
Mormons have started to become more popular amongst us, and they weren't a
wives.
thing at first. They didn't even deal with social technology.
They
And
never
Mormons,
did. No
right,
cars,
Mormons,
nothing.
They were like, they existed, but you would be able to integrate more with Native Americans. Mormons didn't even own a radio.
nothing.
So what you're seeing, right, is the perpetuation of, oh, people are going back to their roots of civilization.
They're
When
really
the
not.
reality of it is, people are just tribal.
we just put a little.
just tribal.
That was
all we
my
did was
point.
put a spotlight
We're
on
just
it.
tribal, and there's a spot.
You just put a spotlight
and
on
so
it.
you'll see it on social media. But I said that because in the middle of what's happening right now today, when I go back and I tell you, El Paso, San Antonio, Austin, the capital. If you know anything about Austin, I'm sure you do. It's the technological hub of the South,
Yep.
not of just Texas, of the South.
Yeah.
Dallas is the interstate hub.
Social?
No, it's not social. Internet hub, the real estate hub of the South, right? Houston is the oil. It's the third largest portion of oil. So if you deal in the oil industry, you can never go in the United States without ever touching Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
So we look at all of these cities in Texas and we think, oh, Texas is amazing. Texas progressive.
No.
Until election time.
Yeah.
Most people do though. So because they're like, oh, I want to move to Texas, and then it's like until election time, we get that ugly reminder that that's not the case because all of those little small cities, they're the ones dominating.
But that's not even true either, because it's gerrymandered to shit. Our whole state. Our state is pretty progressive. If we had city lines that weren't drawn to suppress votes, that's just facts. They're literally
Look
like
up
I said that point to say where what we see on social media is not happening as much as we think. It's just in our face, but the reality of it
But
is
I'm
coming back to
I
the
know-
real
I know
world.
the point you're
Damn,
trying
that's
to
a
make.
goes
big ass.
greater.
That's a
Yes.
big discrepancy. Look at
A
that.
huge discrepancy.
Huge
But
discrepancy.
That's based on gerrymandered maps, which you could Google it right now, and it's a huge. They're trying to redistrict right now because Trump wants to get 5 more votes from Texas, so they're trying to draw these lines in the map that
to
make
add more,
absolutely no sense.
Yeah, but that hasn't happened as of yet.
I mean, it happens every time, every election, and right now they're trying to push for this extra change. And all I'm saying is, the perception doesn't match the actuality, and we have to also bring up those facts because that is a huge part of the story.
So we are saying the same thing. Perception doesn't match the actuality. Gerrymandering is a thing, right? But the truth is about that map is that's not all gerrymandering. Even if we take Trump out of office, the truth about what you see in that red is that are small families who have traditional cultures here in Texas, and they vote the way that it means
And
for the
it's-
benefit of their. No, I know you're not saying that.
Well,
I'm not
I was
putting
gonna
words
say,
in your
and it's
mouth.
Not well, and then no, I don't think you are. I'm saying, like, even to that point, it's not necessarily their traditional values. It's literally their very poor education. Coming from someone who was
That's
raised,
true.
or the
Yeah.
want
No,
to
no, no. That's
change.
true.
Because
Public schools.
education is synonymous to how people vote, and
Yeah,
most
and
people
how they
don't think
change,
about
yeah,
that,
and
right?
how they-
But that's also tradition, right? Those things would go hand in hand. Ignorance is tradition.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah.
Ignorance is tradition. We don't
Manufactured tradition,
right.
but sure. Yeah.
And then so when we talk about that is a pure D reflection of saying, hey, we got all this blue, right? And I pointed out where the blue is. I've already expressed where the blue is. But majority of that blue didn't come from the people who were already here. It came from people who
California,
moved
Florida,
here.
wherever else they came over
It
here.
did. Because Texas houses almost majority of the United States billionaires.
And Texas is going. People that stay in Texas are going to stay on that
And
Texas.
what do we know about billionaires? They vote for their money.
Yeah.
No, they pay
Oh, yeah.
for
They
the
vote for their
election.
money.
I think that's one of the main
Exactly.
reasons.
This is also the thing. I'm like, whatever argument we're trying to make around, well, what Donald Trump won, he literally has admitted to fraud. You know, what is it? Election fraud. He's literally admitted to it. And Elon Musk, when he was still there, he was like, "Yeah, I paid for this."
Well,
It's
see,
happened
Elon
before.
Musk
It's
is-
happened before. Like,
That was such a
Look.
funny situation to me.
look, there's a story of you know how in Mexico, right? Like when they rigged the election, right? What they did was when it came down to voting, how you sway influence
Yeah.
in voting is you show a certain number. So it's like if you always see the same party winning, a lot of the people are like, well, nothing's going
They're
to
less to
change.
they're
I'm not
more
going to go
likely
and
to
vote
give up.
because exactly. But the reality was that the other party was winning, right? It was the complete opposite. But what they did was they just shifted that. They showed numbers
Yeah.
that were false through a
Programming.
system programming just to influence people to
Program
not go and
influence.
vote.
Programming
Exactly.
influence.
So what's to say that, you know, does our voting really matter? I don't know if I look.
Yes, it matters.
It matters, right? But how can they not rig it to put the right person in place? Look, everyone thought that Kamala was going to come in and just like,
Take over.
yeah.
Well, that
everyone
was my
like, holy
point.
shit, like,
That
Yeah.
she's not when she's making a very great point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't want to deviate from like her point to say
course.
like she's wrong. She's not wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a perception of tribalism and instinctual things to nature and culture, right? We're amongst a melting pot. Dallas is a huge melting pot.
Yeah.
But we are not a pure reflection of what's happening outside of us.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
And when I look at how that election went, right, you can always encapsulate what's happening on your algorithm. Your algorithm can hype you up. When you get in a relationship, all of a sudden you see nothing but relationship posts. When you start going on a diet, all of a sudden you see nothing but workout and posting. When you start thinking about traveling, all of a sudden you get all of these travel posts and it's thinking of what you want and it sees what you're shopping for on Instagram or
That's the
on
algorithm, though.
like that's your algorithm. The reality of it is though, what you touch, if you stay on something 30 seconds, it has determined you're interested.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
So it will continuously
Yeah.
show you those things. And then people are frustrated because they don't understand the disconnect. So even if we're looking at what's happened with immigration, they have always put Hispanics as the face of immigration. As of right
You're right.
now, they're not even targeting Hispanics
Yeah.
at all.
What do you mean?
So
Oh, for immigration, you mean?
correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
She's saying
that's not to say
into
immigration
America.
that's not to say that Hispanics are not affected,
Yeah.
right?
I was gonna say
But
I think Latinos are most affected right now, at least with ICE. Like they said we're gonna get
No.
rid of 65 million, and that's
She's-
literally
that's-
the whole.
that's-
She's
federal
referring to
population.
immigration
That's
of
what I'm-
any and
that's-
every
so-
culture that's not American.
for instance,
Okay.
they will propaganda, media, all of this stuff is to keep a certain level of influence. Perfect word for it is to keep a certain level of influence. Now, in history's time, have we known for immigration to target Latinas and Hispanics? Correct. But at this point in time, what actually is happening with immigration is they first initially started with people who were here on overstayed visas, not who were actually here
First wave.
illegally.
Yeah, you could be anybody. Yeah, anybody.
Correct. And then what was happening was it was a large hit to people of African descent. Why? Because China in Africa a few years ago went back and made their own currency, and it dropped the U.S. dollar.
So they went, they collabed together.
Correct.
So now America was like, oh, get them the hell out of here.
So when they started targeting, and the reason why we know that to be true, but it's the same thing when it comes to black people and violence. They will paint the narrative that black people are the most violent, and actually the only thing we lead in violence is in burglary. White people lead in violence in every other sector. Everything from money laundering to child pornography to sexual assault, domestic violence, they lead in it, but it's propaganda.
I heard women lead in domestic violence though.
No, I'm talking about ethnicity.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
Hispanics and Latinos, America has made the poster child of illegal immigrants. So when ignorant people think of illegal immigrants, the first thing they like to do is associate
Hispanics.
Mexico and a boat. The first thing they do.
How you get here? You swam here?
Oh, Texas is full of illegal. No, we're not. Texas is Mexico. We're not full of illegal immigrants.
No, for sure.
So that's
Texas
ignorance,
is
right?
Mexico.
And that's why I say they have media, propaganda, PR.
Yeah.
They made us the poster
right.
child for things that are not true.
Oh, real quick, you said billionaires, they do these things. Elon Musk, that was in my
He's
opinion,
hilarious.
he was that was the main reason I think
so
he wanted to
stupid.
get
It's
into office. Well,
hilarious.
not get into office, but he wanted to be in there or in that situation is because once they took away that whatever it was, that bill that was allowing EV cars to get the discount for all the buyers, he knew his cars weren't going to sell as much now. So he didn't even want that plan to go through because if there's an incentive for you to buy an electric car, then there's more reason for you to buy it. Now take that away.
How Trump played him, that is fucking hilarious.
It went both ways.
Sorry.
Well, you say that,
mean,
but
we
honestly, I
got
think
away with a lot
Elon.
of our money.
No, Elon got exactly what he wanted, which was all data. All he wanted was data. Elon Musk is running a data company. He's not really selling cars. He is, but he's really running
you're
to
not
get
wrong.
the data. He wants all the data
He
that comes
did
with
benefit,
being in.
But yes, he did benefit, right? I just always found how he thought he was gonna play Trump.
Yeah,
and
he
Trump
was. He thought he was
outsmarted him.
finessing it.
And
Yeah.
that was funny to me. It's kind of like when the guy goes sleep with the big girl during income tax season.
They both benefit.
That's exactly what happened. Like, so it's like, but I understand that politics and stuff is sensitive for people. I don't like to offset my opinions, but I just found that particular interaction to be hilarious because he did not outsmart him.
Yeah, people are too sensitive to politics, but whatever. I'm like to be chill when it comes to politics.
That or religion, but
yeah, both of them. I'll just be
both of
chill. Hey, you can have
No,
whatever.
I'll go to- yeah,
you can
yeah.
have your own
I just
opinion.
don't want to disrespect people.
I've studied religious theology, which is it's interesting.
I have a degree in poli sci.
Oh, right on. There you go.
So I
Cool.
just keep away from it
Yeah.
because I know it's sensitive.
Cool. Well,
That's because people are sensitive,
people are soft.
soft as hell.
People are soft today, but people have a right to resonate with what affects them directly.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I am very precarious about touching politics. Because when you vote, what you should be voting for is how it will impact you directly as well as your community.
Yeah.
Versus all these other benefactors. And what we have done, it kind of made presidents like celebrities.
Oh, we have
Well,
for
yeah.
sure.
I don't like
I mean,
that.
it started with Reagan. He was an
Yeah.
actor, and then
Then Bush.
Trump was like, "I want to play that part." Anyway,
But I mean,
But Reagan was actually he was a great president though.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
let's close this up.
Yeah,
Let's wrap this.
for our day and time, there was a sensationalizing of infidelity with Bill Clinton, right? And then with Bill and his infidelity, it structured a lot of things in media, in comedy, in music, in film,
yeah, that's
and
pop
then
culture.
very much so. And then it skipped Bush, and because Bush was literally a
The
real,
first Bush.
And he
No,
was,
the second Bush.
It skipped the second Bush.
It
Okay.
skipped the second Bush because he was a real politician, right? Then we sensationalized Obama for all the reasons he was sensationalized,
Yeah.
and intersectionality played a part. And I was going to get to that portion when you mentioned like people looking for community. That's what intersectionality is. Intersectionality is people's way of trying to find intercommunity within their own boundaries.
Yeah.
But we sensationalized Obama. Trump came along, won on accident because he didn't think he was going to win. And then he was sensationalized. And then people were kind of burnt out due to the pandemic. Joe wasn't sensationalized like he thought he was because he was old. Kamala got sensationalized. So now they're treated like pop culture celebrities, and they're not.
Yeah, there's too much crossover.
Yeah,
It
too much.
is. It's
You
way
gotta
too
just
much
stay in
crossover.
your area and stay, and then but they mix it. Yeah, like you said, too much crossover. Real quick, I know we were gonna wrap it up, but you said you're a comedian. I wanted to hear a joke. I don't know if you could do that. I did
You
want to
gonna
hear a
pay
joke.
her? You already- did
I
you
just
pay
wanted to
her?
hear one joke at the end. You know what I'm
Y'all
saying?
weren't paying me, but you can come to a show. I have a show tomorrow night.
That's right. Shameless plug. Where you going to be at?
Sunday night. Tomorrow is like a pop-up show at another comics new club, I think in Grand Prairie.
Okay.
Crowds
time?
and Laughs.
Crowds and laughs. What time?
Crabs and Laughs?
7:30 or 8. But it's on. You can follow me at Combo Loca, and you can come
COMBO.
pay for
LOCO?
these jokes.
COMBO.
COMBOLOCA.
CA.
Combo Loca.
I got you.
Gotcha.
Shameless plug. So she got
Yeah,
a show tomorrow.
she done
got a
put it
show
in.
Sunday. If you want to hear a
I
joke,
thought
you
you
got to
said
go
Saturday.
pay for the
Tomorrow
joke.
and Sunday.
Oh, tomorrow Sunday. Yeah,
Go
you listen
pay
better
for the
than
joke.
me.
Yeah.
Y'all know how to listen. You know women know how to listen.
Wait, that lets me know.
Y'all know how to listen.
No,
What you
no,
mean?
that let me know. You ain't
I said y'all women know how to listen.
Are you single?
No. But I know women know how to listen. Because trust me, as a guy, what do you have to do when you speak to
Women
women?
don't
We
listen.
just got to listen. We just, like we talking about,
No,
we just
we don't
listen.
listen.
Oh, how's that make you feel?
we
Oh,
don't.
can you had a bad day?
You've
All
been
right, cool.
using a lot of we statements, and I'm like, I'm not her, girl.
Therapy's a scam.
Oh, well, no.
Back to that.
let's
It is.
That's all. That always
I try to
comes from someone
differentiate.
who-
Like I
Now,
try to
hey,
try
look.
to because I don't
No,
want
hell no.
to box you in.
No, actually, I do want to sit in a room with the therapist, and I'd be the reason why she doesn't come back to.
Therapy is
And
nothing.
that honestly, that's kind of proving your point that all men are narcissists. Because
Yeah.
I do think there are people who won't go to therapy because they actually cannot be real, even
No,
with
it's not even-
themselves
it's not even
about
that,
their
no. 'Cause,
stuff.
it's not even
to
about
work
that.
on.
It's
All men
no.
are not narcissists.
No, it's not about
But
that. Let me tell you something about that,
narcissism-
right? Like acceptance comes first, right? A lot of people say, "Oh, you got to love yourself." That's not. You should shift that to accepting yourself. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go to therapy to go and find a solution or advice on something because again,
Not
you know,
everyone needs therapy, but I do think that everyone needs mental health practices, and I think therapy fills your tool bag.
But it all
with
starts. You know
some-
where it all starts? It starts here. What do you watch? How much time do you spend? How much time do you spend on your phone? Who do you talk to? Who do you?
I'm not
What
saying
is-
that
yeah.
that's wrong, but these are all
For sure.
components to the same thing, which is your mental health.
What you're talking about is self-regulation. Even after through time of trauma practices and stuff like it, if you have innate fears of spiders because you got bit by a spider or two and it really like bugged you out, your mind will suppress it. Your mind trains itself to always adapt to every environment so you won't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
You therapize yourself. What you're saying and how you think about therapy is wrong. I've actually been to therapy twice.
Yeah.
They are not required or licensed to give you advice.
Yeah.
They are to give you tools to go and sit with yourself
Exactly.
to help process what's happening to you. So the idea of you going to sit on this couch, you're rambling and telling them all your problems, and they're just sitting there going, well, when you get home, you need to do this. That's not what they do.
No. I know. What I'm saying is, you have tools to find those answers in different ways.
You do, but
You know,
I can tell you as a person who experienced an extremely traumatic situation, I was basically forced into therapy because my body went into shock. And not shock the way most people would think about it. After my dad passed, as of right now, anything after June 10th to the middle of September, I don't remember what happened in 2023. Like, I genuinely don't remember because my body went into shock. I would get up and go to work at 10:30 in the morning. I would come home at maybe 11 o'clock at night, and I would sleep. I wouldn't go to sleep until 2 o'clock. My body would shock itself and wake back up at 5 in the morning.
You was just running through the
And
motions.
I was just
running through it.
And
And
that's the point.
I had
think-
to go to
I
therapy
think-
to bring myself back to that. But there are different forms of therapy.
Yeah,
you
well,
have
that's what I'm saying,
relationship
yeah.
therapy. You have grief therapy. You have various
Exactly,
forms.
exactly. And I think it's like if you don't think you'll get anything out of it, you absolutely won't. And that's just
But
not your
that's
journey.
part of the issue. Will people lie? Yes. But that's the reason why therapists can't give you advice.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know, I know that's what you're saying. Just for clarification, compounded conversation, right? That's the reason why they can't give you advice, because they only know what you're telling them. They're to gain a study or to help to find you tools, because realistically, I can only give you an hour of my time.
Yeah.
At some point, you're not supposed to be attached to therapy, because if you stay, it's no reason to be in therapy 8 years.
Yeah.
At that point, no, it's not effective. You're codependent. But you are supposed to be able to say, I don't know how to process this, or I don't know how to deal with this, or I need to find an alternative to unlearn what I know and go back into society, go back into where it bothers you and try to apply. But some people's mental are stronger than others, right? So you will find that coping mechanisms vary. Some people will do it with alcohol. Some people will do it with sex. Some people do it in comedy.
Well, and I did it in therapy.
Yeah.
Like I have,
Which is what conversation,
well,
huh?
that's the thing.
Yeah.
I did. I think therapy did amazing things for me, and I feel like I healed a lot of generational, trauma
Curses. Oh, okay.
through that. And sure, if you want to call it generational curses too, you could say that. But I think too, I went to I found a therapist that worked for me. This was my third therapist. I was like, this is what I'm coming to you with. I understand it. I need your expertise, because I knew I was holding stuff that I needed to process so that I wasn't living in survival mode, or holding on to stuff that I knew. And I mean, I have one of my undergrad degrees is in psychology.
Dope.
I wanted to be if I hadn't gone into mass comm and the career directory I've taken, I was gonna go into counseling. And I don't disregard that might be something I pursue later on, but I think it is really helpful. I do think that it's a choice. It's a choice.
But
And
he's
it's
right.
and it's a
Therapists need
privilege.
therapy.
Yeah.
Therapists need therapy.
And they have their own therapists
I'm
that
trying to be
know
that
where they're
reason
coming
as to
from.
not come back and teach.
You don't
And
need
I
to
know-
ruin
and you know-
It's
anybody
kind of like going to.
I
It's
feel
kind of
like I get this
Hey,
vibe
look,
from
it's
you.
kinda-
You ruined enough people.
Look, it's kind of like I was telling them the other day. It's like they're having speed dating out in Plano, right? This is like 2 months ago. It's
Really?
like, bro,
Did you
let's-
like it?
I was like, we should go and be the reason why they never come back to.
Did
speed
you
dating.
like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A menace.
Well,
Did you
'cause-
execute your goal?
I was like, hey, look, actually, this girl that I just met, last minute or two, she did well. What you got?
She did well.
What's going on?
Did
Yeah.
you graded her like, hey, B minus.
We're the reason why they're not coming back to speed dating.
And that's one way to use your free will.
All right.
Hey, with that being said, hey, we
Okay,
appreciate
wait,
our
wait,
guests
wait.
for coming on. Real quick, shout out to the producer in the back as always. We will see you guys on the next episode of